Hello everybody and welcome back to Joy, or if this is your first time with us, then welcome for the first time. My name is Jeanette Malloy, or as our students in Fairport know me, Mrs. Malloy, and I am here at home in my backyard next to our pond to practice mindfulness with you. So while I'm getting myself a little more set up for that, I'm going to ask you to find a space where you are that you like to be in, like I like to be here, and that you think will be a spot where your distractions are minimized. So I can hear a car going by right now, and I also just heard something going on at my neighbor's house. So it's not like where I am is completely silent with no distractions, and you don't have to have a place like that either. You're just going to find a place where your distractions are at least minimized, so you won't have constant things interrupting you. And then while you're finding that spot, I'm going to set the camera down so that if you want to be looking up here, you can look at something that I really love and I'll be looking at, which is this opening in the trees here in the backyard. And then once you find that place where you are, that you like to be in and that you think won't be too distracting, you're also going to find a way to sit. And so I am sitting on the bench at the picnic table that you just saw. You might be sitting in the chair or on the couch or even in the middle of your bed. But wherever you are, just be sure that your body is in an upright position. So we're going to sit up rather than lying down so that we can stay awake and aware. But be comfortable too. Make sure that your body feels comfortable in the way that it's positioned. And then the reason that we're doing this is so we can practice something that I call a mindful pause. And you might have also heard it called meditation. But what it is really is a mindful pause. And before we actually practice it, let's talk about what mindfulness even is to begin with. There's a lot of ways we could describe it, but maybe one of the best ways is that mindfulness is the ability to pay attention on purpose to the present moment and to your thoughts and feelings related to that, but without reaction, at least not at first. So being mindful allows us to create a pause between whatever's happening and how we respond to it, so that maybe we can respond with greater intention. And all greater intention really means is better choices. So we make some better choices for ourselves and others maybe when we can create a little bit of a pause before we react or respond, especially in times when we feel stressed. And we're going to practice that mindful pause right now, which is likely one of the most effective ways to create more mindfulness in our everyday lives. If we can actually take time out of our day intentionally, like we are right now, to create this pause, then the idea is that over time, it can help us do this naturally in our everyday lives. And like I said before, particularly when we're under stress. So you have found now a place where you feel good and where you think your distractions won't be too many. And you have found a comfortable, upright position to sit in. And so now there's just a few more things that I'm going to ask you to try to do before we start our mindful pause. So the next thing that you're going to start doing is noticing your breath. Start to actually realize that you are breathing in and out, and do it a little bit more on purpose. And then as you do that, you have probably already started to notice that you have thoughts coming in and out, just like your breath. And all throughout our mindful pause, you're going to be aware of those thoughts. It's really hard to empty the mind and make it think nothing. So we're not going to worry about trying to do that. Instead, we're just going to notice that thoughts are coming in and see what they are. But then try not to react to those thoughts in any way. So if there's someone else in the room with you doing your mindful pause, you won't say anything to them about your thoughts. If there is something that you could do about a thought, you will try not to do that right now. Wait till our mindful pause is done. So you wouldn't move your body, you wouldn't say anything, you would just notice. So just like you notice your breath coming in and out, you will notice that the thoughts are doing that too. So, okay, you have found a place where you feel good and comfortable and where you think your distractions are minimal. And you are seated upright and in a way where your body feels good. You are noticing that you are breathing, so you might be taking breaths more on purpose than just your natural breath. And then you are also noticing that thoughts are coming in and you're letting them as best you can just go back out again without doing or saying anything about them. And then the very last thing I'll ask you to do before we start, and we're going to do a mindful pause of 3 minutes. Before we start, you are going to pick a place for your eyes. So you could close them, and then you won't have to pick a place at all. You just keep them closed the whole 3 minutes. Or you could do what we call setting your gaze. So you would put your eyes on one spot the whole time, and you would try as best you can not to look away from that. So I'm outside, and I think I'm going to put my eyes on this red lantern in the middle of my picnic table. And if I can see out of the corner of my eye a bird fly over, I'm not going to turn my head and look at it. I'm going to see if I can keep my eyes right on the lantern. And if I do turn my head and look at the bird accidentally or even on purpose, I'll just notice that I did that. And if the mindful pause is not over yet, I'll put my eyes back on the lantern. Okay, so we are ready. We are going to start 3 minutes in just a moment. So just be seated upright and comfortable. Be noticing your breath coming in and out. Be ready to let the thoughts do the same. Just come in, but go back out again without any reaction. And then either set your gaze or close your eyes. And I'm going to turn on a little bit of music for us. If you really don't like music, you could always turn your volume down if you want to. But a lot of times, especially when we're first beginning this practice of mindful pausing, music helps us a little bit. So I'm just going to put it on so that you can put your attention maybe on that, and it will be soothing. And like I said, if you don't really like it, you could turn the volume off. All right, we're going to begin our 3 minutes. Okay, that is the end of our time. So if your eyes were closed, you might open them. You can start to move your body around again. If you were really intentionally breathing, you can start to make that breathing more back to your normal inhales and exhales. And thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you'll be back next time.